caught the three Porsche 911s on Mulholland Highway. Up front was a black 930 Turbo, followed by a red 993S easily identified by its split rear grille, and then a silver 991 Carrera wearing black aftermarket wheels. We had been following them for about a mile when their pace suddenly quickened. Someone finally looked in the mirror, saw the 2018 Porsche Panamera we were driving, and kicked it up a notch. Highs as quick as a mid-90 S 911, best handling in its class, smooth ride. Lows seats only 4, transmission slips the clutch a lot in normal mode. We were all doing the same thing, playing hooky on a sunny and warm Tuesday morning to drive Porsches in the twisties above Malibu, Southern California in February. Their inability to pull away from our two-ton sedan was an apparent frustration for the chap in the late-middle 911. Twice he backed it all the way down to create a gap from his friend in the 993 before running hard in an attempt to pull away from our family-friendly Ford. But we saw the move coming. Sport Plus mode engaged. Porsche stability management off. PDK in manual. Sorry, buddy, we're still here. This year, Porsche has added 9 new models to its second-generation Panamera lineup. There are now 16 variations and 5 distinct powertrains, including a 680-horsepower plug-in hybrid. Our test vehicle, a base Panamera, is the only rear-wheel drive version of the sedan and one of 4 models powered by a single-turbo 3.0-litre V6. Also available are all-wheel drive versions of the sedan, the long-wheelbase executive variant of the sedan, and the Sport Turismo wagon. With a base price of $86,050, this is the least expensive Panamera all-wheel drive, adds $4,600, and it's also several grand less expensive than our new friend's 911 Carrera. Quicker than a 993, this new single-turbo V6 is shared with other models in the Volkswagen Group, for example the Audi S4, and puts out 20 ponies more than the naturally aspirated the 3.6-litre V6 that powered the base model of the first-generation Panamera. Its 330 horsepower arrives at 5,400 revolutions per minute and holds strong through 6,400 revs. Torque output has been radically improved as well, from 295 lb-ft at 3,750 revolutions per minute to 331 lb-ft, arriving barely off idle at 1,340 revolutions per minute. The engine is pleasingly strong in the bottom of the tack but comes alive above 4,000 revolutions per minute, although it's not as explosive as the 440 horsepower twin-turbo 2.9-litre V6 in the Panamera 4S. Let alone a nearly twice as costly 550 horsepower stick of dynamite that is the Panamera Turbo. The V6 pairs with the 8-speed version of the brand's PDK dual-clutch automatic transmission, which is used in every new Panamera. Porsche says the base Panamera can get to 60 miles per hour in 5.2 seconds and through the quarter-mile in 13.9 when equipped with a $2,270 Sport Chrono package. But the gang at Weissach must have performed its testing with the hatchback hauling kegs of Stuttgart's best Weissbier, because our test car was much quicker than that. Employing its launch control system, part of the Sport Chrono pack, which revs and holds the engine to 5,000 revolutions per minute until the driver steps off the brake pedal, this Panamera hit 60 miles per hour in just 4.7 seconds and covered the quarter-mile in 13.3 seconds at 107 miles per hour. Those times are well over a second slower than today's 991 generation 911 Carrera, but quicker than what we recorded when we tested a manual 993 Carrera 4S back in 1996. Riding on optional 20-inch wheels from the Panamera Turbo, $1,790, and a staggered set of Michelin Pilot Sport 4 rubber measuring 27540 ZR20 in front and a massive 31535 ZR20 in the rear. The Panamera also generated 0.97 grams of grip on our skid pad, a whisker shy of the 0.99 grams generated by a new 911 Targa 4 we tested recently. Very well balanced in the mountains, the Panamera felt big at first, but the grip is there, and the big Porsche seems to shrink as you up the pace. The Porsche stability management is tuned conservatively, shutting things down vehemently before any of the Panamera's athleticism can be explored. The system is far more forgiving in sport mode, which allows for some hustle, but the Porsche is best with the system turned off, letting the driver set up for corners with a little trail braking. With rear-wheel drive, the base Panamera, lacking the front axle grunt to pull it through corners, pushes moderately at the limit. It's easy to place, however, and a slight lift off the throttle tucks its nose toward apexes. At 4,223 pounds and 198.8 inches long, it's happiest in faster sections, where it shows impressive stability and an indifference to mid-corner ruts and bumps. But the Panamera also works surprisingly well in the tight stuff despite its lengthy 116.1-inch wheelbase. Our test car was equipped with the optional rear-wheel steering $1,620, which certainly quickened its reactions in slow-speed corners. And its brakes are up to the task. Porsche fits the Panamera with 13.8-inch front and 13.0-inch rear vented rotors, similar to those on the 911 Carrera S and GTS, along with 6-piston front and 4-piston rear calipers. In our testing, the setup showed incredible heat resistance and zero fade, and the sizable hatch stopped from 70 miles per hour in 156 feet. In the hills, they're easy to modulate with a sure, firm pedal. Long-range cruise of the PDK's second gear ratio is a little short even for the tight sections, which forces third gear corner entries when the top of second would be preferable. This allows the engine speed to dip below 4,000 revolutions per minute, compromising the V6's readiness when you get back to the throttle. Also, around town in normal mode, the transmission upshifts to second gear almost immediately and slips its clutch noticeably in slow maneuvers, which makes the big four-door feel artificially lazy. It's a concession to fuel economy that can be corrected quickly by engaging sport mode. Interestingly, Porsche says the 164 miles per hour top speed is achieved in 6th gear because the top two ratios are so tall. Out on the interstate, this is a grand-scale Grand Tourer. The Panamera swallows entire states whole with its massive 23.7-gallon fuel tank supplying what should be more than 600 miles of range if you're gentle. The next time you're driving from LA to Texas for some BBQ, this is the ride to have. We averaged 20 miles per gallon with the car, a number that included our hot stint in the hills. The Panamera's combined DPA estimate is 24 miles per gallon. The car's stop-start feature, which shuts off the engine in normal mode to save fuel at red lights, is smoother than many. Smooth ride steering feel isn't really a strong suit but ranks on the good end of the big luxury sedan spectrum. Our test car, which stickered for $96,230, was also equipped with the available adaptive A suspension and the accompanying Porsche Active Suspension Management System $2,190. The long travel setup rides a little high in normal mode, but its 3.5 inches of front travel and 4.3 inches of rear travel soak up the road with a deft touch while still supplying plenty of road feel. In low mode, the front suspension hunkers down 2.6 inches and the rear suspension drops 2.0 inches. The suspension also stiffens but manages to keep the ride pleasant and its tires planted over mid-corner ripples. If we had a winning Powerball ticket, our Panamera of choice almost certainly would be the all-wheel drive Turbo S E-Hybrid Sport Turismo. That 680 horsepower plug-in hybrid monster hits 192 miles per hour and can be driven about 30 miles on electricity alone. But the base rear-wheel drive Panamera, which is more than $100,000 less expensive, is an impressive consolation prize. Comfortable and quick, this is Germany's sportiest large sedan for the money, and it's a heck of a lot of fun in the hills on a warm Tuesday morning in February.